Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're gonna be taking a look at r/surviving infidelity, where we will see an excellent example on why you should always file for divorce while they are still high on the affair fog. Let's begin. Am I the asshole for poisoning my son against my ex-wife who cheated on me? Posted by Reddit user Independent Duties.
My ex-wife and I officially split up a couple of years ago after she confessed to her affair. The divorce was a long and lengthy process, and it took almost a year to complete. We entered into a co-parenting arrangement with our son, and I got primary custody. My son was close with her, so I decided not to tell him about the actual reason for our divorce, and my ex-wife was very grateful for that. I only told him that we divorced because we had fallen out of love. However, a couple of months ago I decided that there really was no point in lying to my son anymore, and that he deserved to know the truth. When I told him the truth, he was shocked, but also extremely saddened. He started to resent his bio mom, and he no longer wanted to spend time with her. He's even started referring to my current girlfriend as mom. My girlfriend told me what I did was the right thing, and my son was at the age where he deserved to know the truth. A couple of days ago, however, my ex-wife called me in tears and accused me of poisoning our son against her. I told her that the only thing I told our son was the reason we actually divorced. I did not tell him anything else, or any negative thing about her. I just told him the truth. She asked me why I did it, because it had now ruined her relationship with the person she loved most in the world. I just told her that I felt guilty hiding the truth from our son for so long, and that he was going to find out sooner rather than later. That was the end of our conversation. Am I the asshole? So a quick update, and my final update. The vast majority of comments say I was the asshole, and I agree. I want to clarify why I decided to tell my son about why my marriage with my ex-wife ended. I just didn't feel it was right to lie to him, and that he had the right to know why our marriage ended. I still think I made the right decision to tell him, but I also think I am an asshole. And my girlfriend thinks I made the right decision too. For reference, I plan to propose to my girlfriend next month, and we're probably going to get married in a few months. I spoke to my son this morning and explained to him that what my ex-wife did to end our marriage had nothing to do about her role as a mother, and that she was a really great mother to him all these years, and she loved him a lot. But he said he doesn't want anything to do with her anymore, and he doesn't even want to call her as his mom anymore. I'm going to let him go through this phase without interfering too much. I have explained to him that his mom loves him, and I have tried my best to repair the relationship, but it's out of my hands now. He is at an age where he is free to do what he wants and what he is most comfortable with.
What the hell? People actually think that you're the asshole in this situation? That is just complete bullshit, OP. You are not the asshole at all. All you did was tell the truth. You never spoke ill of your ex. You never told him to hate his mom. Your ex-wife chose some other man over her own family. That's the reason why her son hates her so much. OP, your son is the one that is truly hurt in this situation. Do what is right for your son and get him to therapy so he has an impartial professional to work through all the thoughts he's having to deal with right now. And now for today's second story. My wife of 6 years destroyed our marriage for her ex-boyfriend. Posted by Reddit user Soul Horizon.
What a crazy train ride it has been. I'm 33 and currently going through a painful divorce. Thought I should share my story to help process the numbness and loss I feel and evaluate how this train wreck occurred. Me and my wife were co-workers for a time 9 years ago. From the time we met, we were extremely attracted to each other. Sparks flew and we hit it off immediately. I dated around a good amount in my younger 20s, but there was something different with her that made me feel safe and happy. After several years of dating and living with each other, we decided to get married. I remember even at the time I proposed, it didn't feel right. We had an open relationship mostly because she wanting that lifestyle. And unfortunately, I went along for that ride. Never marry in a polyamorous relationship. Things definitely started shifting right after our marriage. With our open marriage, we set the boundary we'd only have fun with mutual friends and talk about agreements beforehand. Right before we bought our home, my wife admitted she spent a night with her ex-boyfriend and also later revealed there was no protection. I was devastated. That's where all the trust evaporated overnight, and even though I still loved her, I didn't feel respected anymore. I decided to put the house solely in my name. I continued to progress in my career and being the breadwinner and thought my wife was happy. Slowly but surely, the bedroom fun started to feel like a chore and could tell she was checking out. I should also mention that my wife had a very high body count of men previous to our relationship.
Oh my God!
2 years ago, right after the pandemic started, she pulled the rug from under me and let me know she wanted to break away from me and she wasn't afraid providing for herself. She hired a spiritual coach and thought she could replicate that same amount of success right away. Fast forward to today, she is still struggling to launch her coaching business. Yeah, being independent isn't so easy, right? Also doesn't feel very good with all the emasculation and treating me like garbage as I continued to financially support her. She deployed a lot of emotional manipulation to have me still provide and pay for her lifestyle. She convinced me to sleep in separate bedrooms. I did it to give her the space she said she needed. I really should have kicked her out of the house at that point. About a year ago, she reconnected with that ex-boyfriend she had the affair with. To add on to the misery, I was already feeling she decided to commit into a relationship with him even with us still married. Looking back, I feel completely disgusted with myself for not standing up for myself back then and continuing to allow it. She would often offer me affection and intimacy here and there to keep me ignorant of any of my dignity or self-respect, so I played along to earn any form of closeness with her. I was completely addicted and made her my world. The turning point was last spring after I took her to Hawaii for a week. It was my ultimate Hail Mary to win her back. We even did a couple's photo shoot professionally done and had a really great time together. However, I could tell she was still invested in her affair partner. Not even a day after we got back from the trip, she said she missed her affair partner. Again, I felt absolutely devastated that she would so easily cast away the time and energy we had just spent together. This is where I started to finally regain my dignity. I decided to play up to my image and try to walk away as unscathed as I could and divorce her. Not surprisingly, her and the boyfriend decided to move in together last summer. This is when I brought up to my wife I wanted an uncontested divorce. She was ripe with feelings for her affair partner, so when I wrote out the stipulation, I'd receive the full equity on the house, my bank accounts, and retirement accounts, she agreed. I gave her a week to decide, after another weekend of vacationing with her affair partner, and she signed the stipulation in front of a notary, and I filed it the same day. She ended up going out to the bar that night with her affair partner, getting dolled up and spending another intimate encounter with him, I guess in celebration. Yeah, I surely felt like a valued husband. 3 weeks after my wife wasn't able to get housing with her affair partner as originally planned. Now understanding her predicament, she filed a motion with the court to dismiss our stipulation and go to mediation. Go figure, I then lawyered up and we had several hearings with the courts. My wife never hired an attorney. I believe she thought her spiritual leanings told her she didn't need any of that. Well, turns out she lost her case and tried filing an erroneous second motion with her newly hired attorneys, and lost that too a few weeks ago. Now she's filed an objection to be heard by the judge. My lawyers are very confident the objection will also be denied and the final divorce papers can then be signed. I've racked up 10 grand in legal fees, but my wife also has a lot of fees too and may even be able to ask for my fees to be paid if I win, but I will most likely elect to pay my own anyway. Edit. Also, I should add in the second motion she filed with her attorneys, she made up lies about me coercing and lying to her. Things like I told her to not hiring a lawyer because it was too expensive. The commissioner saw right through that BS and denied her and hoped the judge does too. When my lawyer read through that motion with me, he said there is no chance at reconciliation. Also, the hearing before the judge just got scheduled for April 5th. The finish line is so close now. Writing this all out it seems almost too absurd to be true. I'm trying to survive the present the best I can, staying focused in my career, trying to enjoy playing piano, and my other hobbies to not think about this. It doesn't help that my wife gives me glimpses of wanting me back, but the past is just too painful for reconciliation. I know I can find another partner that loves me and respects me, but for the present moment I feel paralyzed and heartbroken over this journey. Ultimately, I just want to move on with my life and maybe I'll laugh at it all looking back one day. The universe has an interesting way of unfolding. Hope that karma works as designed. Also, any suggestions on getting her out of the home? I feel like I can't kick her out legally unless we're officially divorced. She has mentioned to me many times she fears of me kicking her out. At the same time, she tells me she has other living arrangements planned, but nothing has ever materialized. And now for OP's update. Hard to believe it's been 6 months already. I'm happy to report that I am officially divorced and starting to live my best life now. I still have moments of pain and loneliness hit me in waves, thinking about the old versions of what we used to be, but overall, I'm starting to move past it. One of the realizations that has really helped me is truly accepting she didn't care about me the way I thought she did. She had her own level of delusions, but mine was being stuck on the idea that the chemistry and bond we had early on in the relationship was love. How could she have loved and truly cared with the level of disrespect given to me? I gave her everything financially, let her have full control of what to do in the home, yet she resents me for doing just that. And the fact I took her on vacation to Hawaii and she tricks me into thinking we were reconnecting, just to be with her ex a few days after the trip. Fuck that. Back in April we were supposed to have our hearing with the judge on her objection to the stipulation, and her lawyers ended up delaying it till June. At that point I just wanted to move on, even though I had an unlosable case, so ended up settling the case and giving her alimony for just a year and $15,000 cash settlement. I kept the house, bank accounts, retirement accounts, which is $300,000 in value. It was also stipulated she had to move out of the home once the divorce finalized in June. A part of me kind of wishes she would have left with absolutely nothing for what she did, but it is nice that it's completely over now, and ended much better than the typical cash and prizes these women get away with. She ended up going back to the same ex-boyfriend. That eats away at me sometimes, but then I also just feel so disgusted by her. Her ex has no job, no capability to earn money anytime soon since he had a severe spinal injury. She told me a few months back that she had some spiritual readings, that we weren't meant to be with each other anymore because there's too much pain on my side. Right. I also got a new finance job in June that pushes me up to 6 figures, and she absolutely hated it when I told her that. One of the last things I told her was, I hope she feels good about throwing it all away. Once the alimony dries up and she sees her route of being a spiritual life coach won't work out, we'll see how happy she actually is. If she comes knocking down my door, I most certainly won't be accepting her back ever. I'm deserving of a beautiful, loving relationship, and this is the lesson I needed to learn to appreciate what a good, nurturing relationship actually can be. Hope my story is helpful to anyone that feels like they're struggling breaking away.
Okay, OP. So you married the town bicycle and was surprised that she was still having sex with anyone that has a dick. Well, I truly hope that you did in fact learn your lesson. In today's modern society, never ever get married. Hell, don't even move in together. Those cohabitation marriage laws will screw you over too. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.